Hi, I'm Mark Vince, and welcome to a very special edition of Bagel Talk. Very special for a couple of reasons. Number one, I'm filling in guest host for our normal host, comedian Joe Pontillo. And number two, because we are not in a cafe as we normally are. We're in a secret location. Not so secret, actually. We're in the headquarters of Schripp's European Bread. And number three, today we're not talking about bagels, but we are talking about something very, very similar, a dough product, something that is very near and dear to our heart. And I have a very, very excited to talk to Mr. Jerry Orlando, who is the founder of Danny Britts. So tell us a little bit about yourself, sir.
Well, I'm a fourth generation baker. My family started baking bread in Sicily back in the late 1880s. My grandfather came to this country, just turned the century. Some years later, he started his own bakery. My father took the bakery over after he got back from the Second World War. We made Italian French bread and rolls. Beautiful Italian French bread and rolls. And I worked with my father for many, many years. He didn't want me to be a baker. There's a lot of work involved, but it was something that grabbed me. It was a passion. I had a passion to bake. And though I did do some other things, after graduating college, I went back into the baking business. And it just brings me back to the day I made my first loaf of bread. I think I was anything more than 4 years old.
Oh, wow. That's pretty
That
exciting.
was it, about 4 years old. Our bakery was just a few steps from our back door. And I went in one day, and men were working, and there was some dough on top of the bench. And I just got on top of a little crate. I stood up there, and I started to push the dough around. And my grandfather smiled at me. He says, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm baking bread." So he wanted to show me how to bake bread. So he put his hands on mine, and we formed a loaf of bread together. And I love the way it felt. There was something alive about it. There was something vibrant about that dough, that pale mass.
That is awesome. So now let's fast forward. We're gonna fast forward, and then we're gonna go back. So
Okay.
fast forward today. Here we are in Schripp's. Why then, a gentleman like you, with all your experience and all of your knowledge, why are we in Schripp's today? What brings you to this great organization?
Well, the reason I developed this product is, what does the capitalist do? He sees a need, and he fills it. There was a need for a pizza crust that was good, that a chef could serve without embarrassment, could serve it proudly. We developed one. And that's what I decided to focus on.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So all of these products that I'm looking at here, in your line of products, are essentially pizza dough products. They're essentially made with pizza dough.
Are there? No, it's not a pizza dough. It is very similar to a bread dough. It's our own special formula, all right? And it has a full complement of yeast in it. Most pizza doughs do. They have very, very little yeast in it. And the reason for that is because the dough can be extended for a longer period of time, to be safe. What we have done is we have allowed the yeast to do its good work, which is to aerate and to instill flavor in the product.
I'm very familiar with that from the bagel side, right?
Has to be done.
Well, that is great. That is great. So tell me, in the short time that we have, I see a whole variety of products here. What are the top products that your line, your Danny Britts line, now under the Schripp's European bread line? Tell me what are the top products? What are the most popular items?
The most popular item, really, these days, is the 12-inch crust.
Okay.
There's a 10, 12-inch crust that we make. We can always vary the size. We can always do a 16-inch for you if you want to sell by the slice. But it's up to the chef as to what he wants to present. But the 12-inch is the most popular one. We also make the 8-inch cheese crust. As I mentioned, as we know, the 8-inch cheese crust with a little bit of, well, actually a little more than a little bit of mozzarella cheese on it prevents a barrier. All right, so the chef can put on things that have like vegetables.
Oh, wow.
They're going to give up some moisture. So you want to keep a separation of the toppings and protect the crust itself. And so it does help a great deal. Our crusts, even without the cheese, do that function. And they work very, very well.
So tell me in terms of what I'm looking at here. This is an unbaked product, and this is the result of a same type of a dough product after it's baked?
Yes, it's par baked.
Okay.
It's all set. You can just take them from the freezer. Top very simply. The kids love it, right? This is the focaccia bread. The focaccia bread can be used for sandwiches, paninis. It's very versatile in its own right. And I love the fact they have this marinade on there: rosemary, basil, salt, pepper, garlic. There's canola, and there's olive oil in the product as well. It's very flavorful, very good for using bread service, as well to making cocktail sandwiches, if you like, and just some big, beautiful, wholesome sandwiches.
So you found that the people that are purchasing your item, what's the number one reason that they would purchase these items instead of, let's say, make it themselves? Let's say I say, hey, I love pizza, I'll figure out a way.
We take the word from it. That's the reason why you said we have to fill the need. Right? The chef does not want to mix it up. He does not want to divide it. He does not want it to rise. He doesn't want to press it out himself. It's very difficult to get someone to do that in the kitchen. You would need a full-time baker to do it. And here you can work in great quantities. I mean, we have done amusement parks where you're talking maybe 4,000 pizzas a day, personal pizzas. And that would be more of a personal pizza size. Are being, fed to these teeming crowds. Let's put it that way.
That's great. That's great. So we have the application of having your flatbreads, having your individual pizzas, having sandwiches, having focaccias. It seems to me as pretty much whatever your chef can dream up in terms of use of this product, there's an application for.
Absolutely, absolutely. Right? One of my favorite expressions, if I haven't said already, is that here we've given you the canvas, and you go ahead and paint, chef. And they love the fact that they can just look at something. I remember one time I was down south, and I showed this flatbread to a chef, and you don't bother a chef when he's thinking, of course you know. And he looked at it and he said, I'll come back in 10 minutes. And he topped it with some beautiful goat cheese and some vegetables.
Oh, wow.
And it became an $18 entree.
That is absolutely terrific.
And it cost him nothing to do.
That is absolutely terrific. Is there anything in the winding down now for the audience, anything that you want to share, any remarks, anything that you want to say either about the products, about your relationship now? What's the future for the products?
Well, one reason I'm so glad to be with Strips is that, because I can't go on forever, is that Davidovich Bakery Company, and the reason for Daniel Britts is I have a daughter Danielle and I have a daughter Brittany, will grow, it'll prosper, and it'll thrive. Even on those days that I really can't wake up at 4 in the morning and start mixing dough. So that makes me quite happy.
Well, that's great. That's great. It's a new year, 2024. It's a new iteration. It's a new addition of products to the Strips product line. And if you're interested in any of these products, you can check out strips.com for more information on social media. And I really look forward to wishing you success in 2024. And I look forward, more importantly, when they stop filming, to trying some of these products and really enjoying my lunch. So this is Mark Finch for Bagel Talk. Until we meet again, we'll talk soon.